Hi, I'm Greg with the Ashcraft firm, and we do estate planning here. And I've been talking to you over the last few weeks, or last couple weeks here, about adoption and how that affects your estate plan, mainly because November is National Adoption Month. And so I wanted to talk to you a bit about a couple of kind of peripheral things that might come up with adoption. And one of them is if you're doing an international adoption, you want to make sure that that's legally recognized. Because if you've done an international adoption and it's not recognized in the state that you live in, you may set up your estate plan in a way that you think you've provided for this adopted child, but you haven't. So you may even need to do a readoption. Or if you're really concerned, you may want to put terms in your trust that say that for your trust or for your estate plan that you are considering this person to be the same as all of your biological children or your other adopted children. So if you do have an international adoption, you want to make sure you take the steps that they're provided for in your estate plan the way you would want them to be provided for. Another thing to think about, and this is kind of peripheral because we've focused on some of the more normal issues that come up with adoption in other posts. But I also wanted to talk about adult adoptions. So if you're doing an adult adoption for the purposes of estate planning, it's usually not the best idea. There are lots of issues that come up with adult adoption and estate planning. The law isn't really set up to deal with it. So if you are adopting an adult as a means to provide for them in your estate plan in some way, it's a good idea to mention them by name in your estate plan and say that you want to treat them just as you would all of your other biological or other adopted children. So that's an important thing, just because there have been issues with adult adoptions in the past. So it's a good idea to specify that person rather than just adopting them and saying all of my children get XYZ. Specifically name them in your plan and say that you want to treat them as an adult, because your trust can contract out of any laws. There's some laws they can't contract out of, but for the most part, as far as who gets what in inheritance, your trust can typically contract out of those kind of default laws. And the laws surrounding adult adoption are complex enough that you don't want to use that as your estate planning vehicle. I'm Greg with the Ashcraft firm, and we do estate planning. Thanks so much.